a high-altitude sounding rocket launch in Andenes, Norway. The site of the rocket launch is the Andøya Space Center in northern Norway. Now it counts. Will the sensors provide the required data? At a speed of 1,000 meters per second, the rocket races through the various layers of the atmosphere. The measurements obtained in microseconds provide meter-accurate data about turbulence and atmospheric waves. The Leibniz-Institute for Atmospheric Physics at the University of Rostock in Kühlungsborn, Germany, IAP, was founded in 1992. IAP is responsible for the launch of this rocket. A total of 90 employees work at the institute. In collaboration with many national and international scientific facilities, the scientists' main interest is focused on the research of the middle atmosphere to the edge of space.
We're exploring the layer between approximately 10 and 120 kilometers, the so-called middle atmosphere, where unique physical processes are taking place. For instance, the famous Noctilucent Clouds, ice crystals at an altitude over 83 kilometers, are formed here. Furthermore, this region is cold in summer and warm in winter.
High-altitude sounding rockets with sensitive sensor technology support the very complex LiDAR and radar measurements primarily carried out at IAP. All this can only be achieved if scientists and technicians work hand in hand. Scientists of the department Radar Soundings measure dynamic parameters by means of complex radar systems at an altitude of about 90 kilometers in order to determine winds, waves and turbulence. For this purpose, IAP operates its own radar systems in Kühlungsborn and on the islands of Rügen, Germany and Andøya, Norway. The radar system MARSI, which is an abbreviation for Middle Atmosphere Alomar Radar System, has recently been installed on Andøya. It is the most flexible and modern device of its type in the Arctic and enables three-dimensional investigations of the polar mesosphere.
Radars allow us to measure the winds and is independent of the cloud conditions. We don't, if it is raining, we can still measure the winds. And we can also measure the electron density that is important in this part of the atmosphere, and also temperatures from the diffusion of the phenomena that we study. Many of the rocket campaigns, the radar observations, our radar observations, are crucial to determine the conditions for the rockets to fly. So in other words, we operate the radars, we make the observations, and we can tell our rocket colleagues to decide when to launch.
Optical soundings and sounding rockets is the name of another department within IAP. With the help of lasers, the researchers are investigating the thermal and dynamical structure of the middle atmosphere over a wide altitude range from about 2 to 100 kilometers. The remote sensing, with lasers during daylight, poses major challenges for the technology which IAP continually seeks to develop further and which is unique worldwide. Scientific technologies developed at IAP can subsequently be used in other areas. In addition to the observations performed in Kühlungsborn, IAP is involved in the operation of the research station Alomar in northern Norway, north of the Arctic Circle.
With our LiDARs, we measure temperature profiles from the ground up to the lower thermosphere, and more recently also wind profiles. We measure these fundamental parameters of the atmosphere more or less permanently as far as weather conditions allow. Our LiDARs measure with high temporal and spatial resolution, and also with high accuracy. They also work during daylight, which is a special feature of our LiDARs and exists only in very few places in the world.
A unique measurement system for balloon-borne turbulence soundings has been developed at IAP. It analyzes small-scale structures in the millimeter range at altitudes between 0 and 35 kilometers. The Department for Theory and Modeling, like the experimental departments, is an integral part of IAP. Its aim is to theoretically describe the Earth's atmosphere, including the radiation budget and all considerable fluid dynamical processes, and to simulate them in computer models designed for this purpose.
Im Grunde wollen wir verstehen,
Basically, we want to understand how the observed state of the atmosphere differs from a hypothetical state, which would be reached by a radiative budget alone. We know that deviations, especially in the mesosphere, are huge, in the order of 100 degrees Celsius. And because of that, it is possible to learn a lot about the atmosphere, which is of fundamental importance, especially when connecting experimental results and computer simulations in the mesosphere.
The occurrence of Noctilucent Clouds at an altitude of about 83 kilometers is one of the various atmospheric phenomena investigated. Scientists are inspecting the diverse states of the middle atmosphere with methodically completely different approaches. Here, the coupling and dynamics of various atmospheric layers and their trends are of particular importance. Only the combination of scientific excellence and novel technological developments at IAP enable the correct interpretation of atmospheric and geophysical observations, and therefore the generation of novel scientific findings for this altitude range.
We have known for some years that the upper atmosphere influences the lower layers, but we don't know how much this is actually happening. This coupling is a current research topic at our institute, which is also relevant for society in general. For IAP as a Leibniz-Institute, it is important that the technical and theoretical methods used for this research are excellent. As has been stated by external review commissions, our institute belongs to the world leaders in this scientific area. The studies performed at IAP are also significant for climate research. For example, trends in the middle atmosphere can be much larger compared to the troposphere. Furthermore, dynamic processes on small temporal and spatial scales are amongst the largest uncertainties.